Ayegbayo. In Nigeria, JAMB threatens sanction over illegal admission. No fewer than 15 killed in fresh DR Congo rebel attacks. U.S. Secretary of State holds talks with South Africa amid new Africa strategy push. In Nigeria, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has vowed to sanction vice-chancellors, rectors, registrars, and other heads of tertiary institutions to continue to engage in illegal admissions. This is contained in a statement by the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu. He said the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board restated its vow not to condone any illegal admission conducted by any institution going forward, adding that candidates who accept any admission not approved on the central admissions processing system would have themselves to blame, while heads of institutions who flout this directive will be sanctioned. He added that the era of candidates accepting illegal admissions and then mounting pressure on the board to condone the same is over, as the candidate would also be treated as an accomplice to the criminal act. Malam Adamu stated that all admissions to Nigerian tertiary institutions must be done through the central admissions processing system. Therefore, no candidate is admitted until he or she has printed such an offer of admission from the CAPS platform. Report says JAMB has been engaged in a series of war with institutions over admissions conducted outside of CAPS. In 2021 alone, the registrar of the examination board, Professor Ishia Koloede, revealed that no fewer than 700,000 illegal admissions were uncovered. Rebels in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo have killed at least 15 civilians and an army captain during attacks on villages. The Ituri region's military governor, Colonel Cyril Simba, said rebels from the Allied Democratic Forces were thought to have targeted Kanjoyi village, killing 10 people. It was gathered that another attack in nearby Mamboli left 5 people dead. A woman who lost both her parents said their throats had been cut by the rebels. A UN expert group says it has evidence that Rwanda troops have been fighting alongside one of the rebel groups known as M23. Meanwhile, the Kigali government has denied the accusation. 4 soldiers and 2 civilians have been reportedly killed in a militant attack in Mali's northern Gal region, where French forces are winding up operations. The Malian army said 5 militants were also killed as they repelled the complex and coordinated attack on Taistan. According to reports, the raid took place as Panin troops prepared to close the last helicopter hangar in Gal ahead of a final withdrawal from the Sahel nation at the end of August. Information has it that Mali has severe defense cooperation with key regional and international stakeholders, which involved in a standoff with UN peacekeepers for projecting further deterioration in regional security. Reports say the situation there has been deteriorating by the deployment of Russia's Wanga mercenaries in the Sahel nation. The presence of the mercenaries has triggered threats from Al-Qaeda's Sahel branch to blockade the Malian capital, Bamako, and escalate attacks on the country's military rulers. A ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants is held overnight, following 3 days of violence. Isolated weapons fired from both sides in the minutes before and just after the deadline failed to derail the Egypt-brokered truce. At least 44 people have died in the most serious flare-up since an 11-day conflict in May 2021. Meanwhile, US and United Nations leaders have urged both sides to continue to observe the ceasefire. In a statement, US President Mr. Joe Biden praised the truce and called on all parties to fully implement it and ensure food and humanitarian supplies are flowing into Gaza. He also urged reports of civilian casualties to be investigated in a timely manner. The ceasefire was mediated by Egypt, which has acted as an intermediary between Israel and Gaza in the past. This is the word at noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Iliawiye Ukebale Oshobo, Voice of the West. Now, Army News Message. Never play with the feelings of others, because you may win the game, but the risk is that you may surely lose the person for a lifetime. U.S. Secretary of State Mr. Anthony Blinken, who is in South Africa at the start of a Free Nation African tour, is holding talks today with his South African counterpart, Ms. Naledi Pandor. Mr. Blinken is expected to announce a new strategy for Africa to boost American influence and the continent amid concerns that Washington is losing out to both China and Russia. It was revealed that relations have been stranded in recent months as South Africa, a regional superpower, remained neutral in the Ukraine war. Ms. Pandor has accused the U.S. of trying to punish African countries for refusing to join Western calls to condemn Moscow. It was also gathered that Mr. Blinken will go to Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo after South Africa. Australian airline Qantas has asked senior executives to work as baggage handlers for 3 months as it tries to tackle an acute labor shortage. The firm's head of operation is looking for at least 100 volunteers to work at Sydney and Melbourne airports. The tasks include loading and unloading bags as well as driving vehicles to move luggage around airports. Like much of the global airline industry, Qantas is struggling to resume its services as borders reopen. More than 80,000 tourists have been left stranded in a popular resort in China after a coronavirus outbreak sparked a lockdown. According to reports, authorities have cancelled all flights and trains from Shenyang, known as China's Away, a day after 263 positive cases were confirmed. Authorities say travelers must now present 5 negative tests over 7 days before being allowed to leave. Reports has it that China is the only major economy to still follow a zero-COVID policy. According to Johns Hopkins University, the country has recorded fewer than 15,000 deaths since the pandemic began. However, there have been concerns about the impact of the strict rules, including mass testing and local lockdowns on the economy. The restrictions on Shenyang, a city on the southern Hainan Island and a popular surfing destination, came during the peak tourist season. It will be recalled that in June, Shanghai's 25 million residents finally emerged from a strict 2-month lockdown. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. In Nigeria, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has vowed to sanction vice-chancellors, rectors, registrars, and other aides of tertiary institutions to continue to engage in illegal admissions. Rebels in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo have killed at least 15 civilians and an army captain during attacks on villages. U.S. Secretary of State Mr. Anthony Blinken, who is in South Africa at the start of a Free Nation African tour, is holding talks today with his South African counterpart, Ms. Naledi Pandor. And that was the Word at Noon, edited by Olushola Egbedofo and delivered by Motsunrayo Ayigbayo. In today's News Talk, veteran journalist Adeyayo Yedokun poses a question: who will save Kaduna from falling from grace to grass in terms of security?
It was fashionable in the 1960s to early 90s for students of secondary schools to go on excursion to amusement parks, zoological gardens, tourism centers, lagoons, festival and cultural centers, among others. The teachers will lead them and use the opportunity to teach students on geography and culture of such areas. At that time, transportation was easy and security network was effective. One of such cities at that time was Kaduna, the capital of the present Kaduna State. Kaduna used to be the former administrative headquarters of the whole northern region during the colonial days, but now a metropolitan city in terms of development and infrastructure. Among areas of attraction and learning to students on excursion to Kaduna were Radio Kaduna, Lugard or Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, textile industries, Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Polytechnic, bicycle assembly plants, agricultural sites, the Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA), and the airport, among others. Today, Kaduna is known as a liberal state, an appellation given to her by the Kaduna state government. The reason for this appellation is not far-fetched. For one, Kaduna accommodates various ethnic groups to trade, work in the civil service, worship, and even settle there without any form of molestation. It is, however, shocking these days that lives of human beings are no longer safe because of bandits and kidnappers on rampage in the state. Lives have become so cheap. Students learn under fear. Parents panic taking their children to school, while religious leaders are equally apprehensive of the sad development in the state. Report indicates that within the past 1.5 years, about 2,000 people have been killed in the state. The sad news of the passengers abducted in the Kaduna-Abuja train attack is still fresh in memory. From the above, what can we say is practically wrong with liberal states? In the midst of this situation, the governor of the state, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, is even contemplating going abroad after his tenure in office. Constitutionally, he has rights of movement, but must it be at a time like this? It is not only painful and worrisome that life has become so cheap in Kaduna State due to insecurity. What do we do as we listen to this piece? Pass our information to the government and security operatives for Kaduna to be rescued from falling from grace to grass. The government and security agents too should be up and doing by doing the needful to protect the lives and property of the citizenry.
That news talk entitled "Who Will Save Kaduna from Falling from Grace to Grass in Terms of Security" was written by veteran journalist Adeyeye Oyedokun. The script was presented by Olushola Egbedofo. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
You are live. On Osun Radio. Osun Radio.
Music radio at its best.
104.5 FM.
Ọ̀kan ṣoṣo àjànàkú tí mi gbó kìjikìji 104.5